This week on Retro Movie Geek.
In every age, there is a cause worth fighting for. But in the future, the greatest threat to our survival will not be man at all.
Hey, kids, what's going on? War! We're going to war!
Now the youth of tomorrow must travel across the stars to defend our world.
We are a generation commanded by fate to defend humankind.
Everyone fights, no one quits.
We are going in with the first wave. You smash the entire area. You kill anything that has more than two legs. You get me? We get you, sir.
But they will face an enemy more devastating than any ever imagined.
Here it comes!
Incoming!
Mayday, this is Roughneck 20.
We're under attack, sir. We need retrieval now.
Someone made a damn mistake.
The bugs laid a trap for us, didn't they?
Prepare for battle and journey to the front lines of the next frontier.
Kill them all.
Starship Troopers.
Welcome to Retro Movie Geek, the show where we, your humble hosts, watch and discuss a retro movie which we define as any movie 20 years old or older. This, of course, means we spoil the heck out of every movie we cover. So if you haven't seen this episode's cinematic delight, then consider yourself forewarned. I am Joel, and I am joined, as almost always, nope. Oh, hold on. Yeah, there he is. Daryl.
Hello.
And Peter.
Oh, it's going to be all militaristic saying reporting for duty, sir, but that fucked it up completely.
Yes, it did.
I can't join the RV anymore because just running up the stairs and running back down the stairs, I feel like I want to pass out right now.
What was the line? Wasn't it Damon Wayans, his homeless guy character on In Living Color? You know, I wanted to be all I could be, but it wasn't paying so good.
They ain't paying for this.
Yeah. So
you ran downstairs and upstairs in 2 minutes flat.
I'm impressed. Good cardio.
I wanted to get my other phone so I could look on the names of the people on the show. I do this for the
other phone. Oh yeah.
Oh.
The one I have for my side pieces and my drug deals.
He is prepared. So, yes, regardless, we are here. Stay on target. We are talking Starship Troopers on this episode. Again, those that are listening to the audio version, if you are so inclined to see Daryl in a, I believe euphemistically, it is endearingly referred to as a wife beater, is the common vernacular.
I call it a tank top.
I call it the John McClane special. I actually argue this is Daryl's subtle way of giving me a bit of kudos by doing cosplay as John McClane. I think that's what this is.
We wore these before that stupid movie, right?
Did you though?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
I do wish Daryl had like a little soup stain on it.
No.
a little something.
I used to have one or two, but that was in the skinny days. The skinny
days. Those are the good days, right? So, yes, we are here to talk Starship Troopers. And the important question, Peter, is do you have I didn't finish my point. If you want to see Daryl in his John McClane cosplay, be sure to go over to Mom and Pop Video Shop, where the video version of this episode is currently living. So, Peter,
He did have the same expression as John McClane.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have a VHS synopsis.
Okay.
Let's see. It's been so long since I wrote it down. Let's see. From the bridge of the Fleet Battle Station Ticonderoga, with its sweeping galactic views to the desolate terrain of planet Klendathu, teeming with shrieking, fire-spitting, brain-sucking special effects creatures, acclaimed director Paul Verhoeven crafts a dazzling epic based on Robert A. Heinlein's classic sci-fi adventure. Casper Van Dien, Dina Meyer, Denise Richards, Jake Busey, Neil Patrick Harris, Patrick Muldoon, and Michael Ironside, among others, star as the courageous soldiers who travel to the distant and desolate Klendathu system for the ultimate showdown between the species. The only good bug is a dead bug.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, Daryl,
Yes,
when did you
sir.
first see this major motion picture?
Well, since I've been sci-fi fan, I actually went to go see this when it came out. Like, I think the weekend of it coming out.
Opening weekend? All right.
Yeah.
Which marriage was this?
Oh man, I lost count with that one. Between the 8th and the 15th, between that window.
Somewhere between those two.
There were a couple of annulments. There was some weekend drinking and annulments in between some of that. So that's why I went.
Spreading the seed in between, so to speak.
Yeah. It's in fact Dizzy's relationship, the one that he had with Dizzy, was pretty much the length of time that I was married a few times.
Did it end in a similar fashion?
I may or may not have told her that there was a big bug behind her, and that if you don't move, you'll get killed. But
And then while she turned around to look at it, you ran out of the house.
yeah, well,
I almost feel like one could assume that Daryl's actually been really married once, but it was such a traumatic event. It feels like 23 marriages. I feel like that's.
They never know.
The world will never know. Yeah. So, yes. So we are here, as we said, to talk about this. So, Peter, when did you first see Starship Troopers?
Being a sci-fi fanatic like Daryl, I saw this also on the opening weekends in a theater. So, and I remember because this was in the wintertime. This was released, I think, even over here at least. And the theater, for some reason, did not have heat for that particular showing. So we sat there in our overcoats, and I looked at my friend. What the fuck is this? But
you were in Asgard at this time, right? You were
basically, yeah.
He did do this one in Florida. This was not a Florida watch.
No. There were shrinkage watching this movie and swelling. It went.
Look, what you and your friends do is your business, buddy.
We'll get to the shower scene.
With a man that has 18 kids, I think you did just fine. I think it works.
It went up, it went down. It went up and went down.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
So opening week.
And then it goes down, and then it don't come back up as fast.
Not now.
Oh, Lord. All right. So I was actually working in a movie theater when this came out. And one of my
you were a nerd working in a movie theater?
I know. Aren't you shocked to learn that, Daryl?
Whoop, my coaster's stuck to my mess. Damn.
Yes. And from that same theater is where that banner from that amazing motion picture that Daryl loves so much, Scream. That's where that banner's from. Is that a theater?
Nice.
Rip it down right now. If I had the power, I would rip it down.
With your mind. You just do it with your mind.
You're proud of my coaster, Daryl?
And by the way, this is one of those where the visual.
Yeah, I'm showing my poster of with Wonder Woman.
Yes, Wonder Woman. I was going to say it was from Piranha.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
My main memory of this movie, for starters, so get this, I am actually fairly positive the first time I've ever seen this was 2 nights ago or 2 mornings ago.
Did you read the book?
Wait. You worked at the theater when this premiered?
And I remember watching it in chunks, but I never rewatching it this time. Either I blacked out like complete sections of this movie, or
I know when you perked up.
Yeah, I know where you perked up.
Or I didn't see it in its entirety because there were sections I didn't even remember in this movie at all.
How can
Disney bit that nipple? Saw that? Look at that.
Casper Van Dien's?
Yes.
The man with no
one
facial
else but
expressions?
me. I have a real question. Did anyone else but me read the book in school?
I did not read the book.
Nope. I'm not sure. I have a bunch of Heinlein books somewhere here.
We read the book in school. I mean, in class we read it to learn about like satire, and this is probably why I'm not a nutcase online, because we learned.
You actually learn things?
Satire. Yes, we learned what satire is, and and how it's written, and the whole thing of propaganda. And all of that.
So it's almost like you developed a sense of humor.
Well, that too, and not to believe everything on TV.
Yeah, I think the first Heinlein book I read was Tunnel in the Sky. I think I read that multiple times.
I've not read that one.
This is kind of come of
Peter
age.
is Have Spacesuit Will Travel. That's Heinlein, right?
Yes, it is.
I think I remember getting that in the 6th grade, but I really haven't read a lot of Heinlein.
Let's see. The Puppet Masters.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Which they made into a movie. Yep.
Yes. Stranger in a Strange Land is another.
Yeah, that's it. Isn't that sort of like the hippie book? Isn't that the one that all
a little bit? Yeah.
You would call it the hippie book.
But that's what's funny, because this book, Starship Troopers, it's a lot of people, and we'll get into this, I'm sure, including Verhoeven, sort of equated it to being like pro militarism and pro.
But
here's the thing.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. If you understand Heinlein's politics, he was a libertarian. And libertarians, by and large, they're typically anti-war.
Yeah.
So and being that Verhoeven admitted he only read like the first 2 chapters and then gave up on it, it implies to me that maybe he should have read the whole book and not jumped to conclusions. But we'll get to that. I do want to finish my point about the movie theater. So the one thing I do remember about this movie, though, is that it almost got an NC-17 for gore and violence here in the States. Yes. And this was the first movie when I was working there where they told us we were not allowed to let any kid under the age of 17 without a parent. Like even with a parent.
Well, how would they see boobs?
Oh, there is that. But I don't think that's why that wasn't the issue. The issue was the gore. But I remember they actually had a sign up in the box office that if you're under 17 and you don't have a parent, basically don't waste your time. You ain't getting in. So
Paul Verhoeven movie.
They also said your kid and your parents don't love you.
Yes.
And you're a terrible child.
It did. I may have added that in just for funny. Yeah. So I don't know that I've ever seen this whole movie, if I'm being honest with you guys.
That's so weird. I mean, you do
I've
like
seen
sci-fi.
it so many times. Like I've seen this movie so many times that I probably could have gone without watching this
and just winged it.
Yeah, winged it because I've seen it so many times.
I have it both on Laserdisc and DVD, special editions. So
See, that is predictable. I expected you to have that movie.
Of course. And you know what? I still watched it on Disney Plus.
Exactly.
What's up with the Swedish Disney Plus? Yeah.
We don't
either.
That.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix for us here if you have Netflix.
Although what sucked, Daryl?
It means that Dina Meyer is a Disney princess.
Yeah, well, technically. Daryl, and the reason why I let you know it was on Netflix is because here's the thing. Normally, Peter may or may not allegedly provide copies of movies to save a few bucks. Allegedly. I said allegedly. I'm not accusing you of nothing.
I don't recall that. That's not how you say it. You say, I know of someone who provides.
And Peter's no longer here.
Let me re-say.
May not provide. You don't know how to break the law at all, man.
I'm really horrible. I'm horrible. But I searched on Amazon, and usually if it's on Netflix or something else, it'll say watch options, and that's one of the options. It didn't give me that option. So I thought, it's not available anywhere else. So I rented it.
I Googled it that way. I had to do was I said Google. I Googled Starship Troopers streaming, and then it popped up.
That's the better way to do it. Yeah, see, I didn't do that. I put it into the Fire Stick, and that's what. And Amazon, what a shock, wanted my money and didn't let me know. Oh, by the way, you could watch it with something you already subscribed to. I'm so shocked.
You're the gullible fool that this book was supposed to aim at.
Yeah, I am the reason why Jeff Bezos is a multi-billionaire. That is why.
Yes.
and screws over his workers. Allegedly. Allegedly.
That's factual. That's factual.
Yeah.
Whoa! What are you doing?
Oh wait, Peter just left the stream. I love my co-hosts who never want to stay in their seats. This is amazing.
I'm there. Just pull down so people can't look at me in here. Hi. Just the houses.
They laugh at you. They're laughing. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, they are. So here's the thing. One thing right about with this movie. I remember when it came out. I'm a huge RoboCop fan, so I love Verhoeven's use of satire. To make fun of bigger idea and extreme violence.
Violence.
And I really feel like looking back at it, I honestly don't know why I had to have watched it. Like that doesn't even make sense to me when I say it out loud.
I don't understand you're not.
But honestly, the first when I watched it the other day, I was like, man, I don't remember this part. I don't remember that part. I remember certain parts because I would have to go check the theater. So there's certain parts I saw multiple times, and they weren't all the locker room scene.
Oh, the shower scene, you mean?
Yeah, or the shower scene, whatever. Close enough.
I'm kind of like in Daryl.
What he's saying is that the blood went to his head so fast.
I felt unconscious. Hit my head. I don't remember half the movie. Yeah.
He doesn't remember. That's why.
Yeah. So but all that aside, I will say this: rewatching this movie straight up, 1997, a lot of CGI, but it held up pretty well. Like there's a lot of 90s CGI where you're like,
Well, there's a lot of practical too. Like
there's a lot of practical mixed in.
Yeah, a lot of practical. Boy, I know you finished eating. Go sit down. You don't have to tell me when you finish eating. You're not getting anything else. Go sit down, boy. Go ahead.
He's talking to Peter. For those that are just listening, that's Daryl talking to Peter.
I'm sitting down now.
Go sit down.
No, and one thing about this movie, it looks good. It is.
Yes, it does look very good.
Movie. And again, that'll come back to even with.
Hold on, Daryl's got it.
For its time, it looks good. We got to admit, for its time, it looks good.
It's very bright. It's very brightly lit. It's very
but that plays into the whole satire thing. What the movie is playing.
I get all that, Peter, but can let me just let the cat out of the bag. I don't dislike the movie. I don't dislike it.
Boy.
I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
But I feel a couple of problems with it. One, and I don't know if this extends to the whole Verhoeven having like an immediate a very kind of judgy reaction to the book. That I totally get the idea of satirizing these ideas. And at the beginning, like almost the first hour, you get a lot, kind of like what in RoboCop, right? You get a lot of those when they're on the web or the equivalent of the web, when they're, want more information and they're showing you all the propaganda videos, all of that stuff I like. But then it weirdly seems to counter its own point. Like on one hand, it's a satire on propaganda and military, being very like the military industrial complex, all that stuff. But then it shifts and almost become like by the end of the movie, you would totally not be at fault for being like, yeah, in this movie, the military totally rules. And thank God it was there or humanity would have been wiped out.
Which
you know what I
mean? Which is what he aimed for.
Yeah, but I feel like the themes.
This is total.
He didn't get the book. Right. Huh? But he didn't get the book. Like that was the thing.
Hey, Daryl, sit back. We only see like your chin.
He didn't. I mean, that is an issue of, even though I like the movies, it is an issue for someone who's read the book and you watch the movie and you get that the director did not totally understand.
He didn't read the book, Daryl. He said it himself. He didn't read the book.
I know. Don't get mad at him.
But doesn't that annoy? Be serious though. Doesn't that kind of annoy you a little bit?
It does, because it could have been a even stronger film. If he had if he had read that and knew what they were trying to say. And it's almost like he skimmed it. Like he almost had it if he had just put a little bit more substance in it. He could have really, because when they were saying like I hate the book, like I don't even know if he meant it that way, but there are scenes where I felt offended a little bit, like when they're stabbing the aliens, when they're doing the tests on the brain bug, when they're yelling about citizenship and I think we get the nuance. It's like I get the nuances, and I'm sure you guys get it too. But that's because we have the benefit of being educated in these things.
Yes.
And so we kind of get that, and more or less, most of us we're less Fox News than most.
I'd say no. I'm gonna go you one better. We're less. At least I can speak for myself on this. Less corporate media. Period. All of it. I think all corporate media is propaganda. Sorry, that's my take. I do not speak for either of these guys. That's my tinfoil hat. It's all propaganda.
Like I said. Anyway, because we are that way, because I could see others to this day. There are people that watch this movie and they are more conservative, and they don't get it at all, and they think that it is a pro-war film.
It is.
Well, true, but they think the book is also that way too.
Well, and that's what. So for instance. I could see, it doesn't matter to me. The politics of anybody watching this movie are irrelevant. I feel like and this I blame on Verhoeven. If I'm just going to, no offense, Mr. Verhoeven, if you're listening, which will ever happen. Yeah, because I feel like that you could come out this movie. RoboCop, I do not feel like you come away from, and I mean, you have to be pretty dense to not get the satire in that movie. It is really obvious, right?
I'll have to stop you and say, there are plenty of people that don't get that either.
Okay, well, that's on them. I'm not speaking for everybody.
They go through the lens of their mind. Listen, everybody goes through the lens of
their I can see you coming up with this movie and wanting to go join the Marines. You know what I mean? I think
it's in here. Like he said about Verhoeven about Starship Troopers. The characters of Starship Troopers are fascists who don't know they're fascists.
Well, that's true of a lot of people.
But again, he said, if I tell the world that a right-wing fascist way of doing things doesn't work, no one will listen to me. So I'm going to make a perfect fascist world. Everyone is beautiful. Everything.
But it worked.
Wait, hang on. Everything has big guns and fancy ships, but it's only good for killing fucking bugs.
But it worked though within the context.
That's the point. That's the point of the movie.
But here, Peter. Had he shown at any point where first, here's an example. The Doogie Howser character, right? Neil Patrick Harris's character.
Yep.
We're going to have to get into how I feel like, and I like a lot of the people in this movie as actors in general, but I feel like this is woefully miscast when it comes to the core group, except for Dina Meyer. Is it Dina Meyer? That's how you say her name, right? Except for her and for Father Gabriel, because I love him. Walking Dead reference.
You know why?
Seth Gilliam is the actor. Yeah. Hold on. And then some of the older actors like Michael Ironside, Marshall Bell, those kind of guys are great. But and Clayton Brown,
they're going to give you a no matter what. But
here's the problem: Casper Van Dien is fine because I get what he's going for. He's going for like that Aryan. He's trying to make like a little wink and a nod to that. But everybody like Neil Patrick Harris, Denise Richards, Patrick Muldoon. These are a lot of these people in my mind are like TV actors, and so
also what he went for.
I understand, but it didn't work for me, dude. I'm just being honest with you.
Hang on. Again, a quote from him. Verhoeven later said that the movie would have benefited from casting actors from their ability instead of looks. And I
would say Dina Meyer. I would say Dina. She is the star. It's funny because even watching it again after even though I've seen it so many times, I really noticed more than anyone that Dina Meyer is in a different movie because she's really going for it. Yeah. Like you feel that she loves this dude, right? Like you feel that her whole thing is she doesn't really have family, right? She never gets a call from home.
Yeah.
There's a sadness to her eyes that she does it well without having to say, I'm sad.
Yes.
She plays it well. Like, listen, there's a reason why Casper Van Dien is only doing like sci-fi movies and stuff like that. There's a reason why Denise Richards, her claim to fame was like a James Bond movie where she was only in it for what? 15.
Which one was she in? I don't even remember which one was that.
One of the ones with
Pierce Brosnan.
Not enough. What is it called?
One of
Not enough something.
Okay. I don't know if I even saw that.
She played a scientist. That tells you how great that movie was. She played a scientist.
The world is not enough. Yeah.
I may have saw it. I don't remember if I saw that one or not.
You won't remember that James Bond one.
No.
You just go over here.
Other than GoldenEye, I don't think I remember a single Pierce Brosnan. It's
is she remembered for being married to someone?
Oh, Charlie Sheen.
Well, there's that. But I really have to give it to Dina Meyer in this movie, because she really, I don't think she'll get the credit because she's done like Lifetime movies, and she's like, and people laugh at, like there are people that are like so snooty that if you've done those kind of things, they're like, oh, you can't be a real actor.
Which is why you feel
if you're good, you're good.
Yeah, which is why you feel. Yeah,
she was so good in this to the point where I'm like, could we have killed off Denise Richards' character and leave her in it? Because it would have been a better movie if they had done it that way.
That and I'll tell me what you feel about this. And I'm not saying this in the disparaging way that someone might say the Lifetime movie thing, but on some level, and I know Peter's gonna. By the way, I know Peter's retort on any criticism I have is going to be, that's Verhoeven intended that.
I completely understand your criticism.
Okay, so here's the thing. It felt soap opera to me, like the actors, and it's like, okay, but here's the problem, Peter. If you're doing that, like, okay, I'm going to use RoboCop a lot. I'm sorry, it's just going to happen. Think about Peter Weller. Think about how good an actor he is, and the fact, like, he brings this depth to that character that changes it takes it to another level, right? But then all the time, the bad things that are happening that offset, like, it's not like that whole point of that movie is taking that idea of when you let, like, corporations, you privatize the police force, you do all these things, how it could get out of control. And it has a repercussion. There is no repercussion in this movie, is my point. So, like, I don't blame, honestly, here's the thing. I don't blame the person that, I don't care what their politics are, that would watch this movie and come out of it being like, yeah, that was a pro-military, like Top Gun. Like, it's like you watch Top Gun or something. But here's the problem. Top Gun is not meant to be ironically satirical. That was, of its time, pretty much propaganda. Let's be honest. I love it, but it's propaganda.
Of course it was. So it was in another way.
But that's what I'm saying. But Verhoeven,
there's no nuance in this at all.
Yeah, there's no nuance, but there's no nuance in Top Gun either. But it doesn't need to be, because we know what Top Gun is. They just don't
make an enemy. Yeah, in Top Gun, it's like they also make a bug. They could have had a bug be the enemy in Top Gun, and it would have been the same shit.
Top Gun, at the end of the day, was about getting people, let's be young men, primarily, to see this movie and to come out of it and want to sign up. That's what that movie was meant to do. And honestly,
that's why it
worked. It worked.
That's why they let them use.
That skyrocketed too. The sales of
that is the reason why the military let him use. I mean, they let him use the things that they let them use for the film.
Sure,
it was.
But we know. It's like we know that. Here's the problem I've got. Verhoeven with this movie. He starts the whole creative process with, I start reading the book, two chapters in, I'm like, screw this right-wing nonsense, and I throw it across the room, and I just tell my assistant or whoever to give me a summary. Do you see my problem? So it's like, okay, if that's your argument, then logically, if you want to have it be where, okay, see, showing all how this fascistic way of doing things is, look, let's be honest, from a military perspective, it is a very efficient way to run things.
Everything works in this movie if you're,
and it works.
If you're a citizen.
But by the end, there's even just the most basic character, like, for instance, had at some point, like when Johnny Rico gets injured, when he came out of his little, Luke Skywalker chamber or whatever that was, where they're repairing him, and he had like, because he's a good looking guy. Like, Casper Van Dien is a handsome, is a handsome dude.
Have him lose the teeth and a big fucking
seriously, but he had like a gnarly scar. And it's like you have to, even, it's subtle, but you have to do things that show that character go from being the bright-eyed, like, yay, I'm going for a girl.
Like when they sign up, they get their paper, and they get to that point, the military made me the man I am today, and he's an amputee and has no legs.
Yes, that's the kind of moment I'm talking about, though. It's subtle. I don't want to be beat over the head with a message, but I like that.
It's incidental. Even the parents, if they with a little better dialogue, right? The parents arguing with him not to join.
Yes,
they could have done something with that part. Like, that could have been a way of explaining why this is not the best thing for you to do, because of what happens to people. You're pretty much cannon fodder for most of the movie. And even though he does say it, even though Rico says it a lot throughout the movie, where he says, oh yeah, we're just bodies, right? And it doesn't matter. He goes from saying it like he's angry about it to towards the end where it's like, it's our fucking thing.
We're going to
what
war.
we do, right? Right?
Yeah.
It changes. It becomes this is what we fucking do.
Yeah.
He becomes the face
every
of the propaganda of
opportunity
the movie.
It's funny because there are roads where it's going in that direction where he could have did that. He could have showed how this is a satire. It could have been, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like he gets so close to go, and he's almost about to turn down that road, and then all of a sudden the GPS says no, turn back, turn the other way, and then he stops because there's a scene where when he messes up in the training because he just wants to win as opposed to not thinking about the people that he's in charge of, right? His unit. There could have been something spoken about that. There was so many scenes in between.
There was moments. There's moments.
Yeah.
There were moments. Like Dizzy could have been something about how she's poor, right? They imply that she doesn't have money. Mm-hmm. And they imply that she really doesn't have a support system or family. And that can go into why there's so many people who serve who are put in that situation where they want to go to school. Like when they're in the shower scenes, if we can all think with our heads instead of the little heads, and you hear some of them say, the only way I can go to school. Yeah, this is the only way that I can.
The one lady, the one woman just wants a family. Like that's all she wants. But
because you can't even have kids. Like in this world, you're not even allowed to have kids unless you're a citizen.
Exactly.
Yes. Right. Which for anybody listening that doesn't know, so within the context of Starship Troopers, you have citizens and you have what's the other thing?
Civilians.
Civilians. And so the only way you become a citizen ultimately is you have to sacrifice something, and most people do it through the military because that's easiest to do, quote unquote easiest. Yeah. And so, but to get certain, like you can't just have a family, you can't have kids, you got to get permission from the state, right? Because that's the thing is that a truly fascistic society, it's that way. See, the problem is that word, like so many other words, gets thrown around so much these days, and it annoys the crap out of me because, like, hey, idiots, how about you read a book and actually learn what the thing means instead of just throwing it around. Fascistic doesn't mean, I think, exactly what you think it means because it's literally a way that they structure the society. They use power and control, right? There is no democracy, right? But it's like that. You got to acknowledge there is an efficiency. I'm not saying it's good. There is an efficiency to what they do.
It is why when people throw this thing out, right? But they don't get with the context of it. It's about World War II.
The movie actually bombed a little bit because of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like I was saying, there's a saying that they have about Hitler, right? Where they talk about he's bad, he's this, he's that, and that. All right, true things. Mm-hmm. If you go by exactly what he did, yes, you did name everything he's done. He did horrible things. But then they say, but they keep the trains on time. People throw that out there and they don't.
Yeah. Well, not just, but Daryl, that to me is like a flippant way to say it because the reality is, that's what makes it scary.
That's how people say it.
But it wasn't just that he did that. He wasn't just that he did that, right? No, you wouldn't have got a whole country to go along with you if that was it. If that was it, that represents.
He did good.
Yeah, he did.
Before he started. Woo-hoo.
Yes, and it was like because at the end of the day they were the national. And by the way, I'm not about to say all socialists or not because there's socialism like what Peter gets where you get free healthcare and all that kind of stuff. The Denmark version of socialism, and then there's it was the national socialists. Right. They were national socialists. So the government controlled everything. And what I'm getting at, and the reason, and knowing Heinlein was a libertarian, which are notoriously anti-government.
I think have Volkswagen cheap cars because of Hitler.
Yeah, exactly. I hope you. Hey, if you drive a Volkswagen, that means you support the Nazis. Yeah. That's what Peter's saying now. Good infrastructure apparently in roads and everything. But anyway, I don't want to get off track. All I'm saying is that the problem is, I like a nuanced portrayal of things. Like I'm glad it wasn't just like fascism, evil. Never out evil, right? So they're here. No, here's why people would be attracted. It's safety, right? It's like security.
There are
it's all those things
you can add to a democracy that would be that you could pull. You could pull certain things from from what fascists used to get people to support them to where democracy falls down on. Because poverty is a lot of it.
Into
right?
the middle.
Poverty is a lot of it.
Poverty is a lot of it. And this movie skims the poverty part. Like, there are a lot of people that are broke.
And here's the thing, so follow what I'm saying here on this. So RoboCop, we get the satire regarding corporation. It's very clearly anti-corporation.
Working class are worn out. Yeah.
Oh,
like you get that heavily in RoboCop.
You get that heavily. Yes. And even the criminal element, you get the sense there is a bit of a delineation. Like, yes, there are some of them are cartoonish because it's called RoboCop, for God's sake.
But, but there's different criminals in RoboCop, right?
There's also show a regular folk who are just kind of caught up in all of it, right? That RoboCop to protect. And so a RoboCop is, by the way, that convergence of the state with the corporate is fascism, right? So not trying to, that's where I'm trying to say
looking
that.
Because it doesn't work.
Fascism is good.
No,
no,
don't do that.
But I mean, that's the thing that works with RoboCop is that you can't have a peace officer in the world making
does it with a laugh.
Through a corporate lens. You just can't. And every time they do, we always have issues. They're always social.
Because of money, it's always going to come down to money. It's always going to come down to money.
Exactly. And that's why this movie could have been great.
And that's where it fails for me. Because, like, go back to the is it Dina or it's Dina, right? Dina Meyer or Dina?
It's Dina Meyer. I don't know. I messed it up.
Dizzy. Is it Dizzy? Is there a character named Dizzy?
Dizzy plural.
Oh, Dizzy. Let's use it back to her example. You said, like, they imply her she is coming from a lower class or working class background.
Right.
Many people in the real world, at least in the United States, Peter, I don't speak for you. In the United States, a lot of people from working class backgrounds end up in the military. A lot of the guys that died in Vietnam, the vast majority of them were not trust fund babies. Okay.
No. So, but again, in this movie, she's kind of outside of the three core because they have money, and Rico's not good at anything else playing football. And he has money behind him, which is why he kind of skips.
He's a bro. They write him as a bro.
Yeah, but she's
not educated,
kind of like outside of this. Yeah, she's outside because she has no money. All of the others have money,
but they don't. Here's the problem I got, Peter. They don't do anything. Like what Daryl said, they don't do anything with that.
No. She's kind of like, you don't get to kind of know her until a little bit later in the movie, where because again, Dina Meyer is a great actress. And she, like Daryl said before, you get to know that she's kind of, she throws herself into with this dangerous war with the bugs and everything, because you die kind of like that if you meet a bug. But she does that to kind of feel something like a family, and Rico, because she loves him.
Well, I'm going to go.
Oh, good. Good. No, you do it. You go.
Well, I think she has nothing. You get the sense that she has nothing else. She has no family. She has no support. Like this is it for her. Like it's a go here because there's no college for her. She can't afford to go to school.
Nope.
Even that was like, motherfucker. You could have thrown in how expensive college is without it being a big deal, but enough to.
Because everything would be privatized, everything's run by corporations and mixing with the government, and how now we're in a world where unless you're a citizen, unless you basically are willing to get be cannon fodder, you're paying insane amounts of. Nobody goes to college.
The guys that watch it, I would say this. This is one of the few times where I would say this movie would be better if they redid it. If somebody redid it now. I think because what we know now and the person that did it,
make it a miniseries.
Actually, they just throw the book across the room.
Yeah, and make it a miniseries, like in 10 episodes. So you
Because there's a way. Because all the things we're going through right now, right? We're going through right now with the economy and people forced into joining the military or joining or not being able to being priced out of going to school or, like all these
out of buying milk, Daryl. Priced out of getting groceries.
Yes. Priced out of groceries. racism, the systemic racism built in, and like citizens, how citizens are treated, and how people who are looked at as not citizens in this country are living in tents right now. I mean, that's
the way the homeless are treated. The way, basically, let's be frank. I'm gonna go full class reductionist here on you.
Yeah,
it comes down to, at the end of the day, if you ain't got green, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you are working class or working poor, I don't care what ethnicity you are. I don't care none of it. This day and age, in 2023 in America, that is the reality. And look,
if you don't have money to leave your family, if you have kids and you don't have any systemic wealth to leave your kid to your family, they are in trouble.
Most people don't have. Which is
the thing that I'm saying. Well, that's the problem. But I think this movie could do so well now, even better than it could have been.
My only pushback on that would be this. Here's why I think it unfortunately wouldn't. I think there maybe are a handful of filmmakers that would be nuanced about it enough. My concern would be that they wouldn't just explore those themes. It would just turn into messaging and moralizing, and that would suck. Like, even though I feel like this fails for me as a good satire, because had he, like, back to the parents, when Johnny Rico was with his parents and they don't want him to join the military, you think in a world like this, parents would be, gung ho, like, let's join the military. But they could have, you could have just simply through a few lines of dialogue almost implied that they were kind of like political dissidents, that they were against all of this stuff, and as a result, they really didn't want their son to be a part of it. Kind of secretly, they were kind of old school, like lefty, intellectuals or something. Like, no, we don't want you to be a part of the system. Blah 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 blah. But that's not what they want. They want him to be a part of the system, but to make money in it, not to be militarized.
Because there are, even that is a nuance. Even people who are somewhat wealthy, right? There's different amounts of wealth. Like people like you that have like 3-4 summer homes, and then other people. No, good with that. No, but there's that kind of wealth that there are people that were hippie-ish in their politics, but then they went into businesses and made money. The extremes are always going to be there, right? Yeah. When you throw the terms out there, the extremes are always going to be there. And I think we don't get the nuances of all of that. We get the nuances of broke ass people, right? Like we always get the conversation in movies of, I'm the poor person who doesn't want to do a bad thing, but I get stuck because of the system and I have to do stuff to make money.
Which, by the way, is also part of the problem, because not every person who's working poor does that, and there's an implication through media that's how it's always portrayed.
But that's what I mean. We don't get the in between. We get the ones who do it, and then we get the ones who are victimized in between. But we don't even get the identity of the people that are in between. Like, I would love a movie or a series or a mini. Don't have to do a long one, just a mini series where you have someone you have the person doing it is educated enough in terms of not just in the academic sense, but also educated in the sense of humanity. Like, there are people that are so educated that they don't meet anybody and they don't know how to interpret real people and real lives, right? But you do have some filmmakers who have come from real situations, and you feel it in the movies because they're able to show the subtlety of people. Because we have such a range, right? And you get, those are the films that we remember, right? Those are the films that we sit back and they never age, because you get the humanity in even the lowliest of characters up to the. That's what we need, right? If we could get that would work.
Well, back to Starship Troopers, the main issue I have, though, because, like, to your point, had there been a focus, let's say, on, because they set it up that a couple of the main characters come from very well-to-do backgrounds, all that stuff, and then Dina Meyer, Dizzy character, and then there's other ones. The implication is it's all there. Even the guy who during the training accident, because that was a pretty severe moment, and it's shocking. and then you do nothing with it. It's like emotionally there's nothing done with it, and it's like, wait a minute.
All it is we got to help this white. You know what it turns into? We got to help this white boy. That is exactly what the scene turns into. Instead of going into what happened and what he did, it was like, ooh, this poor white boy. I think we can save him.
Which? Go ahead, sorry, Peter. Go ahead.
No, which is kind of, we go back to, if we're doing this, well, not us, because we wouldn't know how, but redo it as a mini, like let's say 10 episodes. That's enough, because you can go a little bit into this. With the different characters, because this is just a 2-hour movie.
You could spend more time showing the structure of society first. Before you enter. You could show the group. Before they enter into the military.
Get some of their backstory.
That would have been a better thing to do. To have.
It's only a 2-hour movie, so you can only do so much. But I just feel like
I don't. But subtly, he didn't even try.
No, and I guess what it's specifically, it's like, other than those little like kind of RoboCop-isms where you get the the obvious tongue-in-cheek, they're meant to be funny, like propaganda films. Other than that, it's like the whole movie plays as a propaganda film.
Would you like to know more?
Yeah, would you like to know more?
But I gotta say for myself, even with all of that going into this, I watch this how I watch cop movies that I enjoy, right? Like, yes, there are police that are good. They're decent and they want to do good for the society. And then there are those that don't. I know both, right? I can watch, but that's the thing. I can watch the movie and look at it. I know some of it is propaganda, as they say, but I still can enjoy it for what it is, and it's not going to. And it's not something that has to change my worldview.
No, right? No, and I want to make sure I'm clear. That's not what I'm saying. I want to make sure we're clear.
No, I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm just saying that.
I'm a guy who's sitting here next to a signed Iron Eagle album. If we're talking about like kind of propaganda over the top, so I have no problem with stuff like that. I have a problem with Verhoeven posturing like he's making some kind of statement. And I just think it failed on that front. I feel like it failed on that front. Even if I don't agree,
I think he didn't even want to work that hard. I don't think he even wanted to work that hard.
Wait, did he make Showgirls? Was it Showgirls around this time?
He was finishing Showgirls when they started this, I think.
Oh, okay.
And again,
we've all seen Showgirls, right?
Nope, I never saw it.
And again, I have. And again, lazy. Because you could have showed these women and what they go through, right, to get through into show business and how fucked up show business is. You could have shown them as people, not just
breasts,
fuck sticks, because that is what he turns them into. I'm gonna be real about it. That is what he turns these people into, and it's only through the actresses trying to throw a little humanity in it do you get any piece of humanity out of the women in the movie.
Yeah, and actually, to be completely fair, that the movie is not as bad as people throw it. It's not a piece of shit.
I never saw it.
It's not a good movie.
No, but it didn't look good to me. Like, I just thought it looked stupid.
It's not good enough.
I had to watch it twice to make sure.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you did.
I'm sure you did. I know what scenes you watched twice. But the thing about it is, it's one of those situations where it's not bad enough to be like, it is so bad that it's fun to watch once a year, but it's not. But it's nowhere near good. It's just mundane.
It's very campy. I've heard it's very campy. It's very campy.
It's not even campy. It's not even campy enough, like I said, to have fun watching it once a year. There are movies we know that we watch once a year that are terrible movies.
Yeah,
what?
But they're good enough. Yeah, like Die Hard. But they're good enough. Like that.
The guy cosplaying as McClane right now is going to talk smack.
Whatever. Anyway, but still, it's not good. Like, this movie is. I say that because this movie is in part of that, where it's not. It's like you felt the laziness of the filmmaker in the movie. You just feel it. You see it.
I feel like it's in the writing for sure. Like, I don't know. Who wrote this? I guess I could. Since we've been like, hold on. I could. Hold on. I got.
Edward Neumeier wrote the screenplay. Ed Neumeier.
Okay.
So
That's right.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me go back. Here we go. We're sharing screen here. We got to do the IMDb thing for a minute at least. We actually have talked deep enough about this movie that we didn't just go and spend an hour talking IMDb.
If you look at the cast list, I mean, there's a lot of cool people in this one. So
yeah. Oh no, cast is great.
There's 2 people from 90210 in this. It's great.
A Golden Girl is in this movie. We got a Golden Girl in this movie.
Yep.
Now, and back to I want to go back to an earlier point, proving that I feel like on some level. I want to ask you, Daryl.
Yeah.
Would it have been more interesting? So Breckenridge is the guy who gets killed in the training accident. He's like the kind of like Tex, kind of good old boy cliche character. Yeah. And the implication I feel like with him was much like Dina Meyer's Dizzy character. He also probably came from that kind of background. And so back to your point, the fact that there's an opportunity there, he gets killed in this accident.
Right.
They are far less concerned. You could have made it to where, I mean, they jump on Rico's butt a little bit, considering, and he does get the lashes, right? He gets the whole whipped thing.
And a black man got to whip him.
I don't think that's an accident. Like, I think
I know it is. Oh no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so there's just these little moments where there's these subtle things.
And I'll say this too. This movie is more diverse than I thought, and not just in terms of black people being in it, but in terms of women have like there are women in command in this movie. Yeah.
Well, actually, I will disagree because it's pretty much a known fact that there was no diversity before the last 5 years, Daryl. So there's no diversity.
I know, that's why it's science fiction. That's why it's science fiction.
Okay.
Anyway, no, but I totally forgot. I had forgotten how diverse it was for a film, which I don't know if he meant to do it that way, but it just
I don't know. I mean, I
don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I've never read anything of him saying it. No, I don't know. But I noticed that there's a lot of diversity in it.
Yeah,
that I was surprised by. Like it just there was a lot. There were a lot of it in the movie, and to see so many women be in command and not be the fuck ups. For the most part.
Like, I will say this for the Denise Richards character. What was her name? Carmen? Wasn't that Denise Richards?
Carmen, a lot of Spanish
the boring one.
Yeah.
The boring one.
I wonder, when they said all of these, you noticed that these were all kind of Hispanic names, right?
Yes. They were supposed to be from Buenos Aires. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And you noticed that none of them were Hispanic.
Oh, in the book, and to correct me if I'm wrong, you guys read the book, then in the book, Rico, his real name is it Jaime, or it's it's obviously not Johnny.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Yeah. But see, here's my theory. I don't know this for a fact, but knowing what Verhoeven I think was going for, I think the whole casting the kind of Aryan wet dream of beautiful, perfect white people was on purpose to make it have be an echo of Nazi. I think that's what he was going for.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. To be honest with you, sure. I feel like that's a little too on the nose, and it would have been more interesting.
It was because Denise Richards should not have been. No disrespect to her as I don't know her. I don't have anything against her. But in terms of the acting in the movie, she should not have been in this movie.
She doesn't. What it is who plays her captain? Who's the woman? I forget her name. The one that she's in a lot of stuff.
You know what I'm talking about. Actually, I like her.
She's been in a ton of stuff.
Brenda Strong, wasn't that the one?
Yes, Brenda Strong.
Yes. Yeah, she plays Captain Deladler, or however you say it. And she gives across that I could command a ship vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
Denise Richards. Obviously, I think she is fine in the role she's in. I'm not trying to be disparaging. I'm just saying I didn't buy her in that kind of role.
She's not strong enough as an actress to be. And there's so many other actors.
I'm going to tell you right now, my knock on her is the same knock I got on Neil Patrick Harris. They both have such, it's fun that Casper Van Dien has the boyish look, because I get what they're going for with his character. And he starts off where he's supposed to end up. But I felt like with her, and specifically Neil Patrick Harris, because that dude is literally in an SS outfit at the end of this movie. He is supposed to, and again, they almost but here's what's weird. Here's why it's weird. They make him kind of a pseudo hero by the end of it. his power. He's got like this psychic power, and
because you can't put this.
More in the book with
okay. No, because they make him the hero because you can't make the foot soldiers the heroes. You have to have someone higher up. I think that's what they're going for. But I haven't read the book. I think I have it somewhere. But
it's been a long time. But from what I remember, there's more with the telepaths.
Yeah, I kind of would have liked to see more with that.
There was more of them in the book, and I wonder though, was there ever more scenes of him in the movie?
And see, now there's something about him that I did notice. So when he shows back up, and he obviously went from being like their friend and happy-go-lucky, and he's Doogie Howser to he's in this, and you can even see like he's got like a darkness under his eyes. But here's what I was thinking: it's subtle, but you could have implied that by taking on this power, being a telepath mixed with also you're basically being made an SS officer, and how it could have been this interesting thing where he goes from being this sweet friend of theirs to the darkness that's coming out of him, and like that's how it's like
he sacrificed a lot of the. Yeah, he threw the soldiers out just to lure the or. Yeah,
but he just says it as a throwaway line. There's no sense of like what that means.
There's no scene of him. Shut up, Peter. There's no scene of him agonizing over it at all. Like,
I don't even know what. How about this? Do you need agonizing, or do you at least need him in the movie a little bit more so that there's a moment where maybe not Casper Van Dien's character, because he's not ranked high enough at that point, but maybe like the Denise Richards character, somebody else that knows him, they cross paths and he lets her know before it's even happened. Like
you could have easily did this with they set up the whole thing with sending letters home, right?
Yes.
These three were supposed to be three good friends, three close friends.
They could have been communicating throughout the whole movie.
They could have easily been like sending him letters and he stopped responding once he really got into the program, but he still reads their letters. And as he sees the terrible things that are happening in war to them that he knows is because of decisions that he's made, you could have shown quickly. It would be a couple of seconds. It wouldn't have to be long. Just watching the video and disperse it in the movie throughout the movie as he watches the video and has it. And with a gooder actor, with a better actor, watching it affect him a little as he does it. He still makes the decisions he makes, but you can see it taking a toll on him. Mentally and emotionally.
And I think also, I was going to say, as also, if we, the audience, we don't need the main characters to even know it. If we had gotten a moment before the Marines or whatever they are, the Space Marines, whatever they are, before they're sent in, into a slaughter, we get that moment where we get to see him make that decision in a quick scene, so that when he later on tells them, we knew. It's fine for the audience can know things that the characters don't know, and we could have had this moment where we get to experience when it hits Rico and everybody else, like, my God, this guy. Yeah, he's gone. Like he's not the same person. Yeah, and this is what, by the way, this is what war does to you over time.
Right. Yeah. I would even have liked to have seen Rico, because we know Rico gets all gung ho when his parents are murdered, right? Like when the planet is destroyed. There could have been a scene of like seeing the aliens, seeing when they attack the aliens protecting their babies. And Rico kind of saying to himself, thinking to himself how his parents tried to protect him.
Like some moment, yeah.
Right. It could have been a moment. Didn't have to be like, war is bad, man, and let's all smoke a peace pipe about it.
Not at all. No, I don't want that anyway.
No. But I'm saying you could have subtly, I think we're saying the same thing. You could have subtly did a thing where he's looking and his anger starts to subside because he's looking and he's like, because there's a scene where they say in the little news thing where they're like, did we impede on them? Like those planets were their planets first that we kept spreading out to. That's the implication. The implication is that we kept spreading colonies out into these planets, and there were already people there already. I mean, there were already living things there already.
The bugs.
And their response to us doing that was to attack, and we treated them as bugs at first, so we started killing them, right?
Yeah.
And now their response has been, "Fuck it, we're going to kill all humans because that's all we know is humans kill us when they see it." That could have been in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been in the movie.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't have taken up a lot of time either. It could have, but in the excerpts, it could have been in the movie when they did the back and forth of the.
Sorry.
When they did that takeoff of the I forgot what they call that, Face the Nation shit. You know, they did a spoof on Face the Nation.
Yeah.
Where they had the two sides. If they threw in some educated comments on both sides,
sure.
Because one side was a little educated in what he was trying to say. Like, there's different kinds of. They're not all mindless bugs. Like they think they have to be.
Yeah, that's what they were like.
That they're doing.
Sure.
Yeah,
but to have the other guy being like, "Dude, bugs don't think, they're dumb."
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And
I was just getting at that.
It totally destroyed the scene. They could have actually a little bit more of dialogue in that could have had more, and we could have learned a little bit more about the bugs from the dialogue, like what really was happening.
Because you kind of you also get the like, because the bugs, they see them as non-intelligent, and they're in the way. They're attacking. Get them because they can't. Because if you start acknowledging that they're intelligent, it's like, okay, you have to you have to think. Do they have feelings? Do they have this and that? And then you can't just, because then it becomes like a genocide thing. And that's even, well, I mean, when you get to the brain bug, where they start poking it and everything, and they're all cheering, and they're
when she puts her hand
cheering that it's afraid.
Yeah. When he says there, she's scared. It's like,
and they cheer.
Yeah, and they're all.
But they don't play that. They don't play that scene though with the sort of ironic tragedy of that. What that really means.
It's like this gung ho. We caught them. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes. What is happening, Daryl? Why are you blocking the camera? Were you picking your nose? Okay.
Something. A notification popped on, and I had to move.
Oh, okay. I just see the palm of your hand. I'm like, what happened? Do you? All right. I think that is a good point, and I honestly look. Realistically, it's just over 2 hour long movie. Back when they actually just made movies 2 hours long and not 3 hours long, like everything.
I mean, there's a lot of action. It's basically an action movie.
And that's fine. But what I'm saying is, like, there's only so many ideas you can explore in a 2 hour long movie. So, but that's the thing is, I don't feel like they picked a lane. Instead, they just kind of said, "Hey, remember that RoboCop movie we did? Remember how we had all the goofy commercials that would pop up for satire? That's what we're going to do in this one." You know,
you have the kids holding the big guns and they're stomping on bugs and all that. It's just, could we get more propaganda? No.
Yeah, but in and of itself,
well, watching them, I guess it has I would say this is the last 10 years of my life. It has changed how it changed how I look at the film. I guess that's how you know you've changed.
Because you met us.
You never stop changing. No, that made me revert back to a child. No, I mean the mature part of myself. Like I looked at it and I go, looking at how we are treating illegal aliens in this country and other countries. It's not just here. How they treat illegal aliens. But looking at the movie now and the way they did it, it's probably unintentional, but I see it through a different lens now than I did even back then, because of how the extremism is of what the world is like now, right?
Yeah,
everything is so extreme that watching them, even watching the way they killed the bugs, like everything felt like symbolic in terms of how people are looked at and how corporate entities try to label how they are, like they're not human, right? Even though they are human, they're not, right?
And
they're a commodity.
First off, are you guys hearing the ice cream truck music? Because they got ice cream truck. It's going by my house. All right.
No, but I wasn't like
ice cream is hot. I will say though that what you just said made me think: would this have then benefited from a character Even it could have been Johnny, but you'd have to obviously write him completely different. Who
Right.
secretly is anti-war, let's say, without being explicitly right. But it's like somebody with that perspective, so that when they're watching at the end and they're cheering about she's scared, we would have been seeing through that person's eyes that like how they've learned nothing. That they like as long as the military machine is allowed to keep.
I would have loved if they had done. Rico could be that character because if you did the parents were already there, right? If you could have done it where the parents he didn't get what they were trying to teach him until he's there, like he's going through it. That's when
maybe losing Dizzy is what then sets him in motion.
Right. Exactly. And then at the end, I would have loved to have seen a scene of a Rico looking at everybody cheering and him just kind of looking away in disappointment as we haven't learned shit. Because
at the end of the movie, they haven't learned shit. The only thing they've learned is a new way to defeat the bugs and kill more of them.
There's a cartoon that it just because it's so close to this. There's a cartoon called Exo Squad that was done. A Canadian show. Of course, it's those goddamn Canadians, right? But
Lou, that was Daryl, not me. I love you, Lou.
I love Canadians. This is my joke. Except they don't like when you beat your horns. I don't like. I gotta beat my horns. I'm sorry, Canadians. I'm sorry. People drive stupidly.
That's why they sent the orange death cloud.
Yeah, I know. That's why they attacked us. But the show similarly had a thing where they came across this race of alien that was bug-like, and then this war. But unlike this, they show the damage that war does to both sides, and it's so close to this that I'm like, a fucking cartoon was able to capture it, because all you need is someone who really, you need a smart, creative team to work on it, and you can do it. Like, they had the pieces; it's all there.
And you could have even gone so far because again, you can only have so many ideas and themes. Like it can become diluted if you're exploring too much stuff. But obviously, the whole military kind of industrial complex and the fascistic nature of this particular society is such, you could have had it to where because Rico loses his parents, that is the driving motivation and force for that character through the whole. And you know what? It's very you may not agree with his handling of it, but it's very relatable. If your parent or parents died because of some terrorist act or some act of war, it's very easy to understand how you could become very bloodthirsty. Yes,
we went through it.
Exactly. So knowing that, now of course this movie predates like 9/11 and stuff, and I get that, but it's interesting. Like it could have. I didn't realize we're playing Monday morning quarterback here, but those ideas are still such, and it's not like these ideas of like the military industrial complex or anything else is new. I mean, Eisenhower was warning about it back in the late 50s, and. Yeah. I think, though, that what you could have had is that moment where Rico was his driving force, was his rage and his anger. But that rage and anger, what if it had been what led Dizzy to die, like more explicitly, like something that's what led it, which then makes him realize at the end, this is all pointless. And then, the whole point of all this was we were going to defeat the bugs because they were trying to wipe us out. We wiped them out first. But then in that last moment, you get some character, maybe it's the Neil Patrick Harris, somebody who makes a passing comment to Rico about some other planet that we've detected, some form that we think is a threat. And now we're going to move everything we've learned from this to there. So in other words, this idea of endless war, never going to stop. And then Rico just kind of sits down and realizes it's all for, that's a dark ending, but it's real. It's true.
Especially if he's watching his men.
Cheer.
He's watching his men who've gone through so much, and you keep some of them alive, right? But they've gone through damage and battle damage and all that, and how they've changed throughout. Because they've done this. Like Band of Brothers has done. You know how war is. Saving Private Ryan shows.
Favorite show.
Because there's a way. Because yes, you can. That's the thing. Like you can show how. The soldiers who fight in these wars are heroes, right? You could show that they are heroes at the same time where you can criticize.
Yeah.
Well, here's the key. Here's the key, though. I'm of the philosophy. love the warrior, hate the war. Love the warrior, hate the war machine that put them that put them in the place where they had to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
And I have quite a few friends that were former military, and by and large, almost all of it. I know this. They show all these guys at the end of all these battles, and they finally have won the war, and everybody's rah rah rah. That is BS. Some of the most anti-war people I know are former military.
Yeah, because they've been in it. It's easy to root for shit.
Yes.
That you've never experienced. It's easy to say, like, oh, we should go in and do this, and we need to, blow those motherfuckers up, man.
You know what this feels like?
Shit.
This feels like a movie made by like Chicken Hawks or somebody who is like a weekend warrior type of person, not a person who actually had to put anything and lose.
Never had to fight for their lives. Never they're the people who don't value life are usually the ones that never got close to losing it before.
Mm-hmm.
That's
why Peter doesn't value it. That's why Peter doesn't value it.
Because
Peter makes so much life. Peter makes.
That's what I had it reversed. He's made so much life. He feels like we need to get some of it off the planet. That's what it is.
Exactly.
We need to make room for more of.
Make room.
People.
Make room.
Which is again the dictator shit. You make more room for my people by killing off other people.
Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, that's fine.
The military.
Actually, that's the military. Yes. That is pretty much
Peter equals
or what it is nowadays where it's just about money. But again, that's another discussion for another time. So, Daryl.
I mean,
Daryl.
War means money.
Does this movie still hold up for you then?
I don't think it ever held up when I watched it. It didn't hold. I don't think it ever did what it supposedly was supposed to do.
Okay, let's do that. As just a movie, just as an entertaining 2 hours.
I still feel entertained by it.
Yes.
Because you've seen it.
I watched it again, and I didn't have to.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what about you, Peter?
Well, I've seen it like Daryl. I've seen it multiple times, and if you just see it as a movie, it is entertaining because there's basically not a dead moment in it, and
to say it's there's a lot of dead people in it
because there's a lot. Even when you are, and again, like I said, it looks great, and they with the bug swarm when they're thrown into that planet where they're just used as fodder. And you see the bugs just swarming and everything because you're entertained. It's basically a war movie. So if we then put in all of the legitimate movie criticism that we've been doing now, it kind of like Daryl said, it needs to be kind of redone today and do it as a 10-part miniseries. That would be super interesting to see. But it still holds up. I'll watch it again.
Yeah, so. For me. If I have to feel like I have to address it in two ways. One, it's just as almost like a 1930s or 40s serial sci-fi or like a 50s B movie. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Yeah. Then I do like it because it's fun. I think the CGI holds up really well for it being 25 years old or whatever, 26 years old now. Across the board,
super menacing.
It's entertaining. I like pretty much everybody that's in it. I enjoy them and other things I've seen them in. So I really have nothing in that regard. My issue is that it fails as a satire. Oh, there's a thunderbolt. I just heard a big old thunderbolt or lightning bolt. Yeah. You heard it? Did you hear the thunder? You felt it all the way up in New York?
It's the fucking bugs, man. They're coming.
Bugs.
Yeah, the bugs are landing. Yeah. But I feel like it fails as a satire and as a statement on anything because it doesn't really know what it wants to say. Is it talking about class issues? Is it talking about militarism? Is it talking about fascism? Is it talking about, the military industrial complex? It's talking about all of that stuff, but then kind of superficially and on the surface.
Yeah. It's too much to pull into a 2-hour movie.
That's my big issue with it. I feel like
I found actually when I watched it this time around, the scenes I kind of found can we get away from this? or the scenes with Carmen and her flying and that Patrick.
Yeah.
Character.
Yes.
I was like,
yes.
Can we get back to
it was kind of boring.
Real people?
That was a few parts in that I found a little boring. Yeah, a little bit.
But not boring like I didn't want to watch. It's like I don't really find this character as interesting as the others who are more real. She's more, and this is going to be, it'll sound stupid, she's more like up in the clouds, if that makes sense.
What you're saying is that she's too good for you to ever get to date, is what you're saying.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if that was like a kick at me.
Yes, it was. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it right then. No, I'd rather have Dina Meyer, though. Did you notice the co-pilot for her? Did you see who the co-pilot was?
Patrick Muldoon?
No. The small, the blonde, who is also
she's
kind of
from
a trainee. Yeah, it's
when it goes to the end. When they go to the end.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about her.
The mother of Stargirl. Sorry, I got all nerdy there.
Yeah, you did. He's not going to know what you're talking about.
You're such a nerd. Well, speaking of nerds, then, gentlemen, as we wrap this up, Daryl, where can they find your tank top laden bod online?
Well, that'll make them not want to come. But I won't be showing that if you go to
only here. Podcast. You only get that here. It's exclusive.
Only here.
The fascism-friendly Retro Movie Geek.
No! That's not what we're saying. You can have a nuanced conversation about complicated issues without resorting to ad hominem attacks. Peter.
Well, he is Florida man. He is Florida man.
That's true.
You can only expect so much from Florida man.
That's true.
But yes, go to Telenorica podcast. Go there.
Okay. All right. Peter, you?
No. Here, daycare, or Tearing the Tube.
All his children.
With Joel and Allison talking about TV movies, horror, suspense from the 70s, 80s, and twice from the 90s. Now,
I wish it was still only one.
Count one, yeah.
I wish it was still only one because that last one, woo! That was rough.
Could have been rough. And actually,
you pick these things, don't y'all pick these things?
No. It's random. You know that. So
we have all the names. I don't know what it is. We pick a number. Literally, we pick a number.
Yeah.
Is that how you do it? Oof.
Yeah.
I lost the lottery that week. I can tell you that.
And also,
maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do that here. Every now and again.
Once in a while. Yeah. Sure. That could turn.
Throw 5 in a bucket. No, just take 5 movies, throw it in a bucket
on the list.
And then
yeah, from the list.
You know what? I'm going to do that. That would be fun.
That's we'll just what we
do
it next time. Because
the next movie actually, the Retro Movie Geek regular is chosen. But hang on.
That's right. After that. That's after that one.
Hang on. Where you can find me. You can again find me on the Undead Wookiee podcast because Hugh and I just recorded a new episode.
Nice.
It has actually as of today, this date that we record, it has dropped too.
Very nice.
Let's talk about another sci-fi thing, Eve. Dark Side of the Moon from 1990.
Oh,
very cool. So I can be found, of course, here with Peter and Allison on Tearing the Tube, and Day of the Dead's new horror movies, and Mom and Pop Video Shop, where if you're watching the video version of this and you're seeing me start to move a lot because I've been drinking some liquids and I'm feeling a little. Yeah. I gotta get the blue
shit chair too.
Always does it.
I should have got like one of those old people chairs where they could go to the bathroom in it. Dang it!
Yes.
You can't see me from the waist down.
You can just go to the bathroom.
You can be like in the middle.
This is what happens, audience. It's like Starship Troopers. We are supposed to be friends, but me and Peter will still be friends, and then Joel just runs away.
I have to go. My bladder exploding is more important than my friendship with you guys.
Yeah, it's true.
He comes back all ashen and dark-eyed.
Why do you drink so much liquid?
No, because I'm stupid. Because I'm stupid, Daryl.
Just
come on.
A small glass, just half filled, and you take little sips.
Exactly.
You don't have to gulp.
My third one of the Subway 40 ounce or whatever.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know why I do this to myself. Anyway. Bob Hot Video Shop, please check it out on YouTube. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I think that duh, Peter. This is the last Retro Movie Geek episode
ever.
Well, before Spooky Flicks Fest 2023. So we're taking a hiatus for regular shows starting at beginning of October. You'll be getting a hopefully crap ton of episodes from us, from fellow podcasters that are going to contribute. We're actually all of the Spooky Flicks Fest primary, like the 5 shows we do for Spooky Flicks Fest with the 3 of us. They're also going to have a video version, which will be fun. So with our guests, hopefully they don't mind being on video. I guess we'll find out. So on that note, gents, any final words?
Well, enlist and become a citizen. You can help too.
Thanks for listening. Visit RetroMovieGeek.com and be sure to leave us voicemail feedback. You can share your thoughts by calling 484-577-3876. That's 484-57-RETRO.